Okay, so this is a little video on how to write equations of lines. So it's sort of what we did yesterday, but it's a more thorough explanation. So we're going to kind of go through this, and then we have a worksheet today. So that's what we have today, this PowerPoint and a worksheet. To write the equation of a line, you will need the slope and the y-intercept, right? The slope and the y-intercept, and the slope was m, and the y-intercept was b, right? So there's two ways. We'll be going over both of them here. Slope-intercept form, this is what we talked about yesterday. Y equals mx plus b, right? Y, x-axis, x-axis. Y was the number of squares from our problems yesterday. X was the case number. And there's also standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. So there's two ways to do it, and you should know both ways. All right, so if you're given the slope and the y-intercept, right? So if somebody tells you that m equals 5 and b equals -1, that's what you're going to write. Y equals 5x minus 1, right? What does that mean? What does this -1, b -1 mean? It means that that's where your graph crossed the y-axis, and that's the one that goes up and down. So if we were going to write this in standard form, how would we write it? Let's see. Y equals fx minus 1, y minus 5x plus y equals -1. All that means is that they want the y and the x on the same side. So when you see ax plus by equals c, they want the x and the y on the same side. So you just have to move things around. And as you'll see, we have 5x here. How did we get it on the other side? We subtracted 5x from this side, subtracted 5x from this side, so we have -5x plus y equals -1. Either of these would be correct for our purposes. This is just the step where we get rid of the negative, right? You divide this by -1, which means you have to divide this by -1 and divide this by -1. So you get rid of this negative, you get rid of this negative, but this positive turns into a negative. All right, so here we're going at it again, right? Pretty simple, 2/3 x plus 5, because m equals 2/3, b equals 5, we're just substituting. And then in standard form, so we have to move things around a little bit, so we start out with that. And why are we multiplying both sides by 3? Because we need to get rid of this 3 right here, right? So now we have 3y equals 2x plus 15 because we legitimately multiplied everything by 3. So 3 times y is 3y. 3 times 2/3 x is 2x, and 3 times 5 is 15. And there we go. We moved this 2x over there. So now we have -2x plus 3y equals 15. And this one, they decided to move this. We divided everything by negatives so that we wouldn't have a negative in the front. For our purposes, either of these would be correct. All right, one more problem like this. Y equals 3. Why is that? Because m is 0, right? So what's 0 times x? It's going to be 0, because 0 times anything is 0. So y equals 3. How would we plug this in for this one? And why is there no plus anything? Because b equals 0 plus 0 is always just going to be this. And now we have m equals 1 and b equals -1/4. So now we're just going to have y equals x minus 1/4 because x times 1 is x. Anything times 1 is going to be whatever it was, right? 4 times 1 is 4. And then we rewrote this one in standard form. So we have the 4x minus 4y equals 1. And how do we do that? We multiplied everything by 4. 4y, 4x, that's what we did.
The following is a selected video from yourteacher.com, where you can browse over 450 complete math lessons with example videos, interactive practice problems, self-tests, and more. Try a complete lesson today at yourteacher.com.
In this example, we're asked to write the equation of the given line in slope-intercept form. Remember that slope-intercept form is the same thing as y equals mx plus b form, where m represents the slope of the line and b represents the y-intercept. So our first step is to find the slope and y-intercept of the given line. To find the slope, remember that we use the ratio rise over run between any 2 points on the line. And notice that to get from point A to point B along this line, we rise 1 unit and run 2 units. So our slope, or rise over run, is 1 over 2. Next, to find the y-intercept, remember that the y-intercept is the point where the line crosses the y-axis. And notice that our line crosses the y-axis at the point 0, 3. Which means that the y-intercept is 3. Therefore, m equals 1/2 and b equals 3. And we substitute these values into our formula for m and b to get y equals 1/2 x plus 3. So the equation of the given line in slope-intercept form is y equals 1/2 x plus 3.
All right, that is your video explanation. So we're going to write the equation of this line on this graph, okay? Find the slope. What's the slope? How do we find the slope? So up 3 and over 2. So we've got negative, because it went over, 3 over 2. Let's find the y-intercept, right? That's where it crosses the y-axis at 1. So the equation is simply y equals negative 3 halves x plus 1. Next to graph. Try this, pause this, try it yourself, and then turn it back on and see if you got it right. We went up 3 and over 1, right? We put our 2 points on there that were graphed. So what does that give us a slope of? 3 over 1, or 3. Y-intercept, where does it cross the y-axis? At negative 2. Y equals 3x minus 2. All right, this one. So this is in standard form, so it's a little bit different. Let's practice. M equals negative 1. Why is the slope negative 1? Because if we go down 1 and over 1, right? So negative 1 over 1 is negative 1. b equals negative 2. Why is that? Because it crosses the y-axis at negative 2. So in slope intercept form, it is y equals negative 6, or negative x, negative 2, negative x minus 2. All right, there we go. And now we want to put the y and the x on the same side. So what's one way to do it? X plus y equals negative 2, right? Because we just added x to this side. So that's it. All right, here's another one for standard form. So we're going to find slope-intercept form first and then find standard form. All right, let's do this. What is the slope? Let's see, up 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3, which gives us a slope of 2, up 2 and over 3, right? We didn't go backwards anywhere, so that's positive. And our y-intercept is 3, so b equals 3. Plug that in. In slope-intercept form, we have y equals 2/3 x plus 3. We want the y and the x on the same side, so what are we going to do? 2x minus 3y equals negative 9. Now, how did we get that answer? What was the step that we had to do right here? We had to multiply because we have a 2 over 3, right? That's division. Opposite is multiplication. So what we did was we multiplied everything by 3. So 3y, right? And then that's just going to be 2x because the 3 cancels out. So 2x. And then we had 3 times 3, which was 9. And then we made sure that our negatives were there. M equals, the slope is negative 1 over 3. Why is that? Because we went down 1, or negative 1, and then positive 3, so negative 1 over 3. B equals negative 3, y-intercept. There it is in slope-intercept form. So do this on your own. Try to, so pause, put it in standard form. X plus 3y equals negative 9. Is that what you got? So on your sheet today, I just want to know if you got this one right. And what you think, if you didn't, what you think you did wrong. So look at this again, write it down somewhere because you'll need it again. This will be our discussion question for the day. And this, we do not have Desmos assignment that I'm actually going to have us do on Thursday. So we have one discussion question about this problem, and I will put this problem in the discussion question, that little graph. Tell me if you got it right. And if you didn't get it right, tell me why. So that's the assignment 1, and then there will be a worksheet that is mostly just practicing writing things in slope-intercept form. Okay, that's it for today.